Can't believe it's been almost 150 days. 150 days. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel about holistic and clutter-free spaces. My name is Mia Danielle. If you're new here, welcome. I am so ready to get this episode out there and into the world. I have been working on this episode for about 150 days because that's how long it has been since we had this major leak inside of our condo. It took that long for all of our renovations from our leak to get fixed. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, almost 150 days ago, Matt came in and woke me up. I was asleep. He came in the room just like frantic. I was thinking that something had happened to somebody. I was actually a little bit upset with the way he woke me up. And it turns out that we had a major leak that was going into our kitchen through a light socket. You can see the light socket here. The water was just pouring like a bathtub faucet, okay? It turns out what had happened after having the plumber come out and evaluate everything is that the toilet from the third floor was leaking from the clean water part of the tank, and it was just running apparently all night long. It leaked through the third floor, through the second floor, into the garage. It literally went through all of the floors of our house. It was crazy. We immediately came in and started just ripping up boards, and as you stepped on the boards, puddles of water were like pooling through the boards. Our goal was to try to save the flooring initially. That didn't happen. Luckily, the insurance ended up covering all of the replacement for the floor throughout our condo. But let me tell you, it was a process. It took several days for us to even be able to get in contact with the right person from the insurance company to get everything appraised. We've been walking on plywood in parts of our house for months now, right? So I'm gonna share this whole renovation process with you and show you what the end result looks like after having all of these updates. So let's go ahead and dive in. The first responders on scene were the mitigation team. They actually did show up within a couple of days, and they were just there to dry everything up to make sure that we didn't have any moisture being held in places, that there was no mold. So they came in with their dehumidifiers, which were very loud and very hot. So we actually did get displaced for that first weekend, which was kind of cool. We made a little trip of it. We went to the Pearl District in downtown Portland.
Oh, did we bring any of our trees?
I did, I got our trees. We went to the dog park and we went out to eat, and we just kind of made the best of this really, really stressful week. It's a pretty day here in Oregon, finally. I think it's gonna be the only one this week. We are on day 12 of our post-flood incident, where we had a leak on the third floor that went through 2 floors. We're still in the middle of the process, waiting for contractors to come out. And I'm just walking Charlie, getting out of the house for a little bit. The mitigation team just left Thursday. They did cut into the plywood in areas where it wasn't really drying well. They did have to leave one of the fans and humidifiers going up on the third floor for the girls' bathroom an extra day because the tile was still reading as being wet underneath, but mitigation is done, so that's one check mark. We have gotten approval from the insurance, which is a huge relief. I'm not gonna lie, it's been a little bit stressful. This has been going on for 12 days and I have no idea how much longer we're looking at. And then we're 13 weeks out from the wedding date, so we've got a lot of date crunching, but we are pushing through, and so far, here we are. In the process of this time, my daughter also had her 13th birthday, so we decided to just get out of the house, get away from it for a while. Tomorrow is Gracie's birthday, so today we took her to a farm. We are about the only people out here, which is really cool, so we're secluded, and there are lots of chickens and goats, and we've even gotten to hold a bunch of baby goats, so it's been a really fun day.
My hair again.
He's gonna lay down. Oh, it's just not happening. So as you can see, the mitigation team was still there 12 days later. They finally did come and move their stuff out, but the process from that point didn't actually get much faster. We ended up having to go back and forth between the HOA's insurance and our insurance and waiting to hear back from people like adjusters. It took weeks before we actually were able to get everything solidified, get everything over to the contractor, and even get an estimate for how much it was going to cost from the contractor. So this was a very, I would say, stressful and trying time. If you recall, we were also actually in the middle of planning our wedding, so there were a whole lot of irons in the fire, and it was not fun. Finally, we had our first change, our first renovation happen about 90 days after the leak. And you might remember I did this little announcement and I showed you all of the decluttering and all of the moving of our stuff that we had to do for this new carpet to be placed. So this is a really exciting week. I'm out running errands right now, but this is the week that we got new carpet, finally. Some of you may know that we had a leak in our condo about 90 days ago. I had no idea that it was gonna take this long to finally get new floors. There are still parts of our kitchen and our home where we're walking on plywood. And then things started to kind of domino and really started happening, because on days 99 and 100 post-leak, we finally did get all of the LVT flooring replaced and all of the chunks that were out of the plywood replaced. And so it was really nice once that was completed. During the process, we did have a toilet in our dining room, so that was interesting. Things were still very upheavaled and up in the air, but we were happy to finally get that done. We also got to see what was underneath some of the parts of our stairs and some of the parts of our flooring that we hadn't gotten to see underneath yet. The entryway, there was a Mexican tile type of situation that we had no idea was there. Speaking of the stairs, that was a little extra work than what we were anticipating. It turns out that the stairs that we had weren't the most structurally sound, so they had to go back and reinforce the stairs, and then they had to go back because of that and make changes to the molding that went around the stairs. So everything was kind of like plus 2 more steps. We kind of went back and forth on whether or not we wanted to use some of the money to make other changes and upgrades, and I was really looking at getting some different countertops, because these countertops, although they were fine, they had these grout lines that would catch everything, and it drove me crazy. And we all hated the sink. The sink wasn't even made out of stainless or porcelain. It was like some kind of plastic material that would melt if you put a hot pan in it. So it had scrapes and melt marks, and I was just so ready to get rid of that sink, get rid of the faucet. And after going back and forth, we did decide that we would get some white quartz countertops. So we added that to our list of things to plan and things to schedule for the renovation. And unfortunately, we were not able to make that happen before the wedding. So we went on our wedding, we went on our honeymoon, and then when we came back, the week that we came back, they were actually scheduled to come in and place our new sink and our new countertops which was great, except that they couldn't install the plumbing for our sink. And again, because of all of the weird weather that Portland has been having here lately the past year, all of the plumbers were booked up. So we still had to go another 7 days without a kitchen sink. That was interesting. We had to try to maneuver and utilize our bathroom that's attached to the downstairs area as like a makeshift sink. So it was another one of those things where you feel like everything is great and finally almost done, and then you have to wait another week. So I did decide to do the backsplash myself, which I felt totally confident doing and I was pretty excited about. I went to Home Depot and looked at tons of different options and picked out this nice white glass tile with little bits of stainless steel in between it, and just went to work. Went through the process of cutting the glass tiles and shaving them down with the sander, and mortaring the wall and putting the tiles up there, and then going back the next day and grouting. So again, this was kind of a 2-day process, but I used the time where we didn't have the kitchen sink and couldn't really do much in there anyway. I used that to my advantage to just put up the backsplash. I love the changes. We love the carpet. It is so soft, so squishy. The LVT flooring has been great so far, no issues. It's waterproof, which we're really excited about. And I'm really into the color, the darker color. We had a darker color before, so this felt really easy for us to transition into. And then of course the kitchen with the new white quartz countertops, the undermount sink, which I was really excited to get. And everything just feels so much better, and of course it feels amazing to finally have it done. Thanks for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed this reveal of our post-leak renovation, and let me know what you think down in the comments. I'll catch you next week. Be sure to go ahead and subscribe and turn on notifications if you're into topics like clutter-free and holistic living.